This is how Fire Emblem is meant to be played. Hi, it's Jhryne. Please send some help. Fire Emblem is a strategy RPG with a wonderful cast of characters, the best stat system known to man, and permadeath, meaning if a unit dies, they are gone for the rest of the game. Now, you could always reset and try to go deathless, which is what I do, because I wake up at night thinking about how it's my fault that they died, and I hear their screams, and I hear their dreams being cast away to the ocean, and I can't just leave, man. However, Professor Bopper, a wonderful Fire Emblem YouTuber, made me see the other side of things, and made me realize Fire Emblem was exactly the game I would love not to reset. Because here's how I thought of it. I love playing Nuzlocke in Pokemon, so it's kind of a weird thing that I avoid the consequences of permadeath in Fire Emblem when it's the thing that I want. And that's when the story just writes itself, from lucky crits to unlucky moments where units that you didn't love become heroes, and heroes like falling through the worst of mistakes that you've made, and it will eat you up for the rest of the run. Today, we'll be playing Lin's route with no resets, and if they die, they die. So with that out of the way, our journey begins. We begin as Mark. Not Mark anymore. It's Jhryne now, loser. Huh? What's going on? Oh, hi there. Hello. Oh my god. Hi. Are your hands cold? Do you need me to hold them? Fuck, I mean... That wasn't weird. So, we were found unconscious in the plains of Sakai and meet Lyn. And if it's not obvious, I have a crush on Lyn. Because I believe Lyn is one of the best characters in Fire Emblem. And if you think otherwise, we can fisticuffs near the intelligence system parking lot. Before Lyn and I can keep talking, we were now beset by bandits. Lyn volunteers to hold them off, but however, why would I run away when I have Tic Tacs? As I am a Tic-Tacian, you see? Well, either way, with me assisting Lyn, we end the bandits and it's not that hard. It's the tutorial. The hits and misses were scripted, so there's really nothing to talk about. We survived. Lyn wants to travel with us, and of course, being a responsible adult, I said she must ask her parents for... We find out that she is the sole survivor of her tribe because of a bandit raid. Her father and mother are gone and she's left alone. The reason she wants to travel with us is so she can get stronger to avenge her father. And this is why this introduction really sells Lyn to me. She's able to be kind and strong while being vulnerable. After the tragedy she was faced with, she still chooses to be this type of person. It's a few lines of dialogue, but it shows how well-rounded Lyn is as a person and isn't terribly one note. Well, after a story like that, who would say no to Lyn? Lyn is ecstatic and we have officially become traveling companions. Me being the master strategist and Lyn will be the peerless warrior. Nothing bad will happen for sure. The next chapter has Lyn and I traveling to Bulgar for some supplies. In the town, we meet a green knight who flirts with Lyn? Dude, I understand where you're coming from, but bro, you gotta be more timely with this, okay? Their parents just died. Luckily, his partner comes along to drag him and they pissed off Lyn. Nice one, idiots. No, who am I kidding? You're my idiots. But before I can introduce them, we get attacked by bandits. Again. This time, the boys help out and we take the bandits out easy peasy. Another tutorial stage, this time focusing on cavaliers, terrain, and vulneraries. So, no sweat. Except for the fact that Mr. Green over here really likes to make a good impression by missing every attack they've made. Scripted, by the way. The battle ends and the knights reveal that they are looking for someone. They are knights of Caelin and are messengers looking for a lady named Madeline. Madeline eloped with a nomadic prince, and we know where this is going. Madeline is the daughter of the current Marquis of Caelin. The Marquis first disowned his daughter for leaving. Well, I would understand why. But when he found out about her daughter being happy and having a child, the Marquis was happy to be a grandparent. And honestly, that warms my heart. And surprise, the granddaughter is named Lindis, which is the full version of the name Lyn. So Sane and Kent are supposed to find Madeline and her family and invite them home, and well, we know what happened. After an emotional moment, Lynn is happy to still have family in the world and then realizes she is going to be dragged in a political dispute she does not want to be a part of. Lynn is going to be considered as the heiress to the Marquis title. Unfortunately, the Marquis has a younger brother that wants the title and will do anything to secure it, as it shows that the Marquis ordered bandits to kill Lindis because the bandits called Lynn Lindis, so they knew her real name. The Caelin Knights tell Lynn that the safest way to handle this is to return to Castle Caelin, and she accepts. Lynn asks if I want to tag along, and well, baby, we ride or die together, my peerless warrior. Our next destination is a small altar outside Bulgur, so we can pray for safe travels, and there's bandits again. This time they're after the sacred sword called the Manikati. He tries to unsheath it, but the sword swipes left on this guy, and he gets mad. A villager approaches us and asks for help, and who are we to say no? This is another quick tutorial level. This time we learned about interacting with village tiles, mountains, fortresses, and breakable walls. And before I move on with the story, there is something we should talk about. It's about levels and experience points. We have fought and defeated enough bandits to have a unit level up. What's important is which unit we want to focus on and the stats we gain from those levels. In most Fire Emblem titles, experience is a limited resource and you get it from defeating enemies. So, if you want to give a particular unit experience, you have to set up your turn for that unit to last hit the enemy. You also have to consider that in higher levels, the experience you normally gain diminishes if the enemy does not match you in strength. So even if you want to all in a single unit, it is unfortunately inefficient. So picking our favorites and standout units will help us plan who we want to invest in. Also, I use the word stand out because stat increases are based on chance. This is the second point we need to discuss. When you level up, a stat only has a chance to increase, it's not guaranteed. These are called growth rates. Certain units have higher growth rates while others suck, but that's why sometimes we can have an unexpected hero. They might get really lucky and become a beast. However, there's a flip side. You can invest a lot of experience into a unit only for them to end up with terrible stat increases. While it can happen once or twice without issue, if it keeps happening, then it might be better to look elsewhere unless you really like them. So, you might be wondering, Jhryne, how did your units fare while leveling up? Well, here you go. Yup, Sane is not looking good. Either way, we clear out the bandits and Lynn is able to touch the Manikati as a reward for her good deed. The Manikati does a gamer move and swipes right this time as Lynn is now the chosen wielder of the blade. That's what I'm talking about. Good choice. Meanwhile, Mr. Grand Uncle Douche receives word that his bandits failed but arrogantly believes that since our travel will be plagued with bandits, we won't survive. Instead, he focuses on poisoning the Marquis. What an asshole. We now continue our journey in earnest as Caelin is a distance away. On the 10th day of our journey, we meet the Talaver bandits, who are the most ruthless of the bunch. The village we passed by was in ruins, and unfortunately, no one was able to stop them. We also find out that it was these particular bandits that killed Lynn's tribe. Lynn affirms that she will avenge her people, while the boys, including me, offer her help when she decides to put them down, because who wouldn't? It seems that the bandits are in town, and this is where we meet two new members, Florina and Will. Florina finds herself against the two bandits and accidentally crashes into them as she wanted to land. They ask for an apology, but it's really obvious that they're going to do some horrid things to her and the Pegasus, so we step in to help out. We visit the village nearby and recruit the guy, Will. He has been taken care of by the village folk and he wants to help out. So we are getting the numbers we need, and Florina is a Pegasus Knight while Will is an archer. In this level, we learn that flying horses hate arrows, archers are based, and visiting villages is a good thing. There's not much to note in this level except that we got some experience points, bought some swords, and I almost fucked up. Florina is quite squishy, and I moved her to a vulnerable position, as I thought she was beside a weak foe, but wasn't. So I implemented some quick duct tape tic-tacs and we killed everyone before they could do anything to her. Sometimes the most direct solution is the best way to handle things. Whew. Let that be the last strategic crisis I faced in this run. Will kills the bandit leader and we are safe. Florina joins us because for her to graduate as a Pegasus Knight, she needs to join a mercenary group. And Will, well, does not have anywhere else to go, and he needs money. So the Lindis Legion grows. We continue westward and stop by a ruined fortress. We meet a wonderful lady named Natalie looking for her beloved. Dorcas. She's sickly and can't walk far, so it becomes a problem when we get attacked, and you guessed it, by bandits. This time, it is a defense mission to protect Natalie. In this mission, we are able to recruit from the enemy because we discover that Dorcas joined the bandits to make money for Natalie's treatment. After a quick talk, we swap Dorcas on our side and wreck the bandits. This mission is actually different for me because most of the time I would play aggressively and try to beat the bandit leader. However, this time, because I feel an actual sense of caution, I waited for the turns to end and complete the mission. Dorcas joins the group so she can make money for Natalie with us rather than being a bandit. Natalie and Dorcas discuss this beforehand and I support that communication. In the next mission, we find ourselves at the border of Lycia and bandits. The bandits from the last mission follow us with intention that if they let us go, they will look weak. Unfortunately, they should know they already are. This mission is far from fruitless because we get to meet Sarah and Urk, a wonderful duo that need marriage counseling. Urk is escorting Sarah to Ostia and they get caught up in the bandit mess. Urk wants to commit unalive and Sarah is having fun in the chaos. Sarah and Urk are a priestess and mage respectively. A priestess can heal so she will be extremely useful while mages are powerful combatants but are really squishy. This level has nothing noteworthy to mention, so we kill the bandit leader. Urk and Sarah join the team as Sarah wants to put us in her debt. I mean, graciously help the unfortunate Lyn. God please, I have a family. Sarah, put down the gun. At Castle Caelin, Lord Douche finds out we crossed the border and starts to panic. He sends his own soldiers to stop us and orders the soldiers to double the poison's dose to the Marquess of Caelin. He really knows how to be subtle, huh? We arrive at Arafin to meet its Marquess. The Marquess offers us supplies and soldiers for the journey. This will make everything easy. Fuck. A bandit almost hurts Lyn, but a horse archer comes to save us. This is Wrath, the captain of the guard. Marauders have come to burn Arafin and stop us, so we're gonna offer our help. We also meet Matthew the Thief. He is someone watching from the shadows before Lyn finds him in the house. Well, we need him to unlock the secret entrance so we can defend Arafin. We get some advance payment for our services, and with some clean tic-tacs and a bad level up from Dorcas and a great one for the boy Urk, we manage to open the entrance with no issue. Finally, we meet the Marquess of Arafin, and he's another asshole. God damn it, can we just have one good noble? Basically, he thinks that the Sacaean people are trashy savages and doesn't want to get on the bad side of Grand Uncle Failure. Lyn refuses help from such a guy, and I agree wholeheartedly. We were about to move on until Wrath joins us after calling out the Marquess. He gives us the war funds we need for the journey ahead, and we got another great addition to the army. Soon, we are only 10 days away from Caelin when we find ourselves in a weird situation. This time, it isn't bandits that are attacking us, but a group of unsavory individuals that are hunting down a peculiar child. Now, you could still consider them bandits, but they look much more trained than your typical riffraff. Of course, we decided to help. This time, we get to choose our units before starting the mission. The only choice I really had to make was whether or not I wanted to include Wrath or Matthew. In this case, Wrath and Dorcas are gonna sit this one out because their levels are quite substantial already. We meet Nils and Libra. Oh, I mean Lucius. Whoops, Libra is from Awakening. Right. Nils is a bard that can basically give units another turn, and Libra is a monk that can deal with dark magic users. I must say, this mission actually had some close calls. Lyn got hit by an attack that had 30% chance and needed to be rescued by Kent. Florina is dunking on these losers and gets a good level up. And we also meet another Giga Chad in a random house. We almost get to the castle where we end the level and things get dicey. Why? Because I was greedy. just play the clip. Just play the clip. Okay, so Matthew's default actually, so I have to be careful here. Matthew, you have to hit this because I want you to get XP. Do we even risk it for the biscuit? Do we risk it for the biscuit? Yes, we do. Trust. 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 We risk it for the biscuit. So I wanted Matthew to get XP because I wanted Matthew in the future to be my assassin. And I got him killed. There was actually a way for him to survive that while getting hit, and that was by moving Sarah, then giving her another turn through Nils. But I only realized that at the end of the turn. I am an idiot. I am not a Tictashian, I swear to God. Well, also, I killed this branch because I thought it would do something, but it didn't, and I'm just so sad. Anyway, after flip-flopping around the final mage, Lucius gets a kill and that's the end. We enter and are not able to find Nil's sister Ninian, however we meet Eliwood who managed to save her before she was moved. And he is a good noble, thank you God! Unfortunately, they steal Ninian's ring and we have the option to chase down these rapscallions. Now, an extra quest poses some risk, but I think it's worth the experience if I'm careful, which I'm probably gonna be after this mission, so we offer to find them. And let's just talk about Matthew's demise real quick. It is clear to anyone that has played FE7 that Matthew is not actually dead, and that any unit in Lynn's route is not dead permanently. They come back after this part of the game, but let me tell you, it still hurts because I actually never went through with deaths before. If this was my typical run, I would have reset on the spot, but it showed me something that I never saw before. Despite all my time playing FE7, I never saw this scene where Matthew and Lynn are talking after his defeat. Matthew is only injured, but it was a grave injury that he cannot fight for the foreseeable future. And they talk about it, and Matthew says he'll be useful off the field and he'll keep following. And this just kinda opened my eyes that there is content when you allow yourself to continue. It's sobering to say the least, but in a way it made me even more connected with this run because it feels intimate. Either way, I got off lucky this time. I'll be waiting for Matthew to get back, but for now we have a side quest to finish. So, whew. I hope that's the last strategic crisis I face in this run. We pursue the Black Fang to the southwest and they hold up in an abandoned castle. A purple-haired lady is berating a blonde man because he really failed to capture 2 children. And hey, if you need better officers, I might be available, milady. I mean, I'm just saying, putting my shot out there. They do not argue for long as they discuss how to get the children, and well, we're kinda heading straight to them with the children, so it's fine, we'll be fine. This guy is given another chance, and if he screws up, the Fang will not be happy. Man, this guy is not gonna have a good day. We arrive and it is time to assault the castle. They do have the numbers advantage, however, since the map layout is quite tight, we can diminish that. So yeah, we select the units and man, it sucks not to see Matthew here, but we can't grieve forever. We bring Lucius as experience will be more efficient on him than Wrath because Wrath is already high leveled, so it's better to bring Lucius along. So we begin the mission and we already have to be a bit creative with this. Since we do not have Matthew, we cannot open the chest or doors normally, so we either need to have a door key or a chest key. Luckily, while we do still have some door keys from the last mission, we don't have chest keys from what I was able to remember, so what we have to do is we have to allow the enemy thief to steal from the chest and then kill him afterwards to get it. With renewed caution, we press forward and start eliminating the enemies one by one. The commander is surprised that we made it this far and I don't know what he was expecting. If he really wanted us to lose, he could have just locked the gates and stayed by the walls, but whatever, right? It's my fault apparently. We get the hammer from the thief and get deeper into the stronghold. Lucius gets a great level up and soon the commander is the last one standing. Kent gets a final blow, and while Lin was talking to Commander, he chose to commit Sudoku because his Oshi is gonna kill him. The quest is complete, and Ninian and Nils tag along for the rest of the journey. Which leads us to Caelin. We finally arrived, and unfortunately, it is now under the rule of Lord Douche. So his brightest idea is to assassinate us, and now they have a ballista that can deal 3d10 damage. But it's okay. Nils has foresight, and Linz does not get hurt by the ballista shooting at her from miles away. Hey dumbass, if you want to kill us, spend your points in elite units rather than artillery! Despite the ballista, I choose to bring Florina, and let's hope this does not come back to bite me. So I split the army into 2 to head towards a village and another to head south. We get a Lance Reaver that now belongs to Kent, and meanwhile we have a crisis to the south. I miscalculated the spacing and Will gets rushed in melee. He tanks all the hits and is now at 3 HP. So obviously now I'm panicking a bit, but I'm a Tactician, I will get this done. I will not let Will die. So I recall Sane from the other side of the map and use Nils to bring him up to speed. Unfortunately, he does not have enough movement to get to anywhere relevant. So what I had to do is move Dorcas to protect Will and get another horseman down. And forming a human wall, Sane and Dorcas is able to get Will out of melee range, and Sarah's able to heal Will back up so that the ballista can't kill him. And whew, that should be enough. So I move Florina further south to solo some soldiers. And that sucks. The group continues south and I split off Urk, Sarah, and Nils to handle a single brigand, and once again I get into another crisis because the brigand is able to melee Nils and I don't know how this happened when I look back in the footage. So I rescue him with Urk and he gets shot by a ballista, and oh my god. I retreat quickly and Sarah heals Urk to tank another hit. The boys handle the ballista and now the brigand goes to Sarah and misses. Get fucked. The rest of the southern forces are dealt with and Lyn finishes the level's boss. The battle is over and the squad gets to learn more about what is going on. Matthew comes back with information about the Marquess. Lyn now knows that the Marquess is not ill but poisoned by his brother. Grand Uncle Douche has crafted the story that makes Lyn an imposter. Unfortunately, this puts the Legion in a tough spot and Lyn makes the call to talk to Eliwood, who might be able to assist us in this endeavor. So we rush back to Caelin. On our way there, Lord Dumbass has called the other nobles about the imposters and requested reinforcements. Eliwood, being the pretty anime boy that he is able to convince the neighbors of Caelin to not interfere. While it would have been great to get Eliwood as an ally, keeping the mode of neutrality was the next best thing. Our march to Caelin begins, but we have to pass by a general's estate and fog is beginning to roll in. Once again, it's another level that makes me realize how much I miss Matthew. He doesn't even join the conversation like he usually does this time, so it really gets to me in this one. Without Matthew, we have to be careful and use torches we get later in the level to our advantage. The level begins and an absolute tank rolls in. He is Lord Wallace, former commander of the Knights of Caelin. He retired but was called back by Lord Douche. He was given orders to capture Lyn, but Wallace is an upstanding crewmate, knight. I really like how Wallace just says that her eyes are too bright and honest to be an imposter. So naturally, he joins us and oh boy, Wallace will wreck your shit. Like that wasn't enough, this is a level where we learn how to use promotions. So, one quick promotion later, our Model 1917 has become a Sherman, and look at that tank, baby! Mwah. We press forward with Sane grabbing the torches and securing our flank. It is gonna take a while to move our unit, so I send Florina to deal with the swordsman ahead. What's a bit annoying with this level is the mountain tiles, which make it difficult to use our ranged units to kill them since it's likely to miss. So it's better to just watch out for their movement and attack them when they come down. The fog finally comes and well, it isn't too bad. Sane gets wounded and I get him back, so the torches can be used for the forward group. Since Wallace is too slow, it's probably better to have him protect the rear anyway. We start clearing the forest of enemies, and with Sane leading the way and using torches, it gets easier to move forward without fear of an ambush. So let's look back at Wallace and... Yup, he's doing good. I also left Lyn on the southern mountains to deal with the Axemen so she can grab some free experience, and a few turns of traversing the entire army through the forest because that takes a while, we make it to Eagler. Eagler and Wallace stare each other down. Mano y mano, and despite all that has been said, Eagler chooses to obey orders. Wallace gets him down to lethal range and Lucius finishes the job. With his last breath, General Eagler reveals the truth. The throne was seized and unfortunately it is a bittersweet victory. Eagler was Sane's and Kent's teacher when they first became knights. When I was playing, I was wondering why Eagler stayed with Lord Douche's side when it seemed like he was honorable and knew that Lyn was the rightful heir to the throne. I probably reasoned that he was blackmailed in some sort of way, and Sane basically said it. The writers covered their bases, so good job. And because of Lord Lundgren, General Eagler had to die unnecessarily, and Lyn is outraged. Lyn, who is usually dignified and kind, will not let this go. So, the final battle comes. Lord Lundgren prematurely declares to the Marquess that Lindis is dead, and for some reason, he does not have the intelligence to realize that maybe at this point he can actually just kill the Marquess without veiling it behind illness. I mean, I think everyone knows he's just killing him, and he's already ruling with fear and an iron fist and manipulating stories and information, so it's just pretty easy to say he didn't die to a dagger, he just died to illness. He's not smart, he's not too bright. And honestly, you can't spell Lundgren without L, so I'm gonna make sure he gets one. We have no restrictions here, and we get the entire army to move. This mission is, well, long. The map is big and there's a lot of forest that will slow us down. However, with that being said, there's also rain that will also slow us down, so it's going to really be a test of patience with this map. I slowly move my main army to slog through the northern parts of the map, and I move Florina to pick off some enemies past the river. Florina is able to kill the swordsman before having to retreat to avoid the archer, and the rain should help us in doing that. The rain stops quickly, it It's weird, the weather's weird. The army starts crossing the bridge to get to the eastern village. And then I move Florina to poke the swordsman with a javelin, and it was not a good move. The swordsman moves to the side and the archer takes his place, so now he's in range to attack Florina, and Florina crits the archer.
Let's go!
Florina isn't done because she crits the swordsman afterwards, and you know she's out for blood. Wrath is able to secure the energy ring from the village, and the boys start moving ahead. Because of the mountains and forest, I moved all cavalry units to the south for easier movement and to get some armor slayers on the way just in case. However, reinforcements come from the castles and block our path. We clear them slowly, and with Wallace leading the front, there is no way they can hurt us. It was only a matter of time before we made it to the gates of Caelin. I tried to get Lyn to be able to kill Lundgren, but unfortunately it wasn't doable. You could argue that I could have made him switch to Javelin or trade the Lanceweaver to Lyn, but I just really think it was too risky overall. I even used the energy ring just to be sure to see if maybe the might increase would do anything, but it really didn't. It was just, I was hoping for it, right? I was coping. To slay Lundgren, I just simply used Urk and Lucius to deal magical damage to bypass the armor, and well, they were safe because the Silver Lance was equipped, so they didn't retaliate with the Javelin. With Nils giving Urk another turn, Urk has the damage to finish this. So without missing a beat, Lyn rushes into the castle and finds the Chancellor of Caelin. He tells us what's been going on, and he was even imprisoned by Lundgren beforehand. And this is the time that Lyn and the Marquess finally meet. It was a heartfelt scene where two lost souls are reunited in a way. The Marquess and Lindis both needed something from each other. The Marquess, who was foolish in an early age, finally has a chance to make amends with family. Lindis, who just recently lost her father, mother, and practically her entire tribe, has someone to call family, and she isn't alone anymore. You know what? I'll let past Jhryne articulate what I loved about this scene. And this is what I think really puts Lyn up, like Lyn's story up there. Most stories I think would have been fine with the grandfather dying, right? And I think this just speaks to me as a person and like the sort of like themes I like. And that is Lindis telling her grandfather there's still so much more you can live, you can keep going on. And you know, that just feeling of hope and you can keep going. Like, it's beautiful, you still have so much more living to do. And both of them now found a piece of themselves that wouldn't allow them to move on without each other. He was satisfied to die, but Lyn told him he cannot, there's so much to do. And Lyn didn't have any family anymore. Maybe a bit of survivor's guilt, being the only person alive. And her grandfather telling her, thank you for living. Thank you for existing and living and making it here in this moment in time. It's beautiful. And with the end of that scene, Lyn exits Lord Howson's room and meets with the rest of the army. Florina has officially joined House Caelin and is on her way to be a better Pegasus Knight. Will also decides to stay, and he has become attached to Lindis and the gang. So he will send a letter to his family to let them know he's staying at Caelin. And well, for me, I had more traveling to do and more knowledge to learn. And on my way out, Lindis catches up to me and says her goodbye. She tells me about everything we have been through and reaffirms that I can become a master tactician. Despite the mistakes that I made in the mission, I'm glad that she still believes in me. And honestly, I can leave with a smile on my face, knowing that there is somewhere I could return to. And with the same confidence in fate, I'm sure we'll meet again. That's the video, and that really took longer than I expected, and it's a lot of work, and it was a lot. So if you liked the video, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And this is my first video, so I'm still figuring things out, and I don't know which content will stick. But I do want to just create fun content for people to watch. And if this was fun for you and you want to see the Eliwood route next, then like the video. Let me know. Support the channel so that I know what to focus on next, right? Because I'm still figuring things out. I need that feedback. So thank you so much for watching until the end, and it means a lot. Thank you. Until next time, see ya!